Regret not making my marriage work, and now my ex-husband is happily married. I filed for divorce at 32 because he forgot our anniversary. Not once, 3 years in a row. Each time I'd mention it, he'd apologize and promise to do better. But by year 3, I was done. Year 1, I found him asleep on the couch at 11:00 p.m. Our reservation long past. 2, he came home with grocery store flowers at 9:00 p.m. after I'd already cried in the bathroom for an hour. Year 3, he worked late and didn't even realize until I packed a bag and went to my sister's for the weekend. My friends told me I deserve better. My mom said a man who can't remember important dates doesn't truly care. Even my therapist gently suggested that maybe we wanted different things from the relationship. Remember the day I served him papers? He was in the garage on a Saturday morning billing our 8-year-old daughter the treehouse she'd been asking for all summer. He had wood shavings in his hair and measurements scribbled on his forearm in Sharpie. He looked at me holding the manila holder and just nodded slowly. I figured, he said quietly, setting down his drill. He didn't fight it, didn't just ask if we could tell Willow together so she wouldn't be scared. The divorce took 4 months. Split custody 50-50, sold our house in the suburbs for $340,000, and moved into separate apartments across town from each other. He took the couch, the old TV, and his tools. I took everything else. For 2 years, I convinced myself I made the right choice. I got a promotion at work, lost 15 pounds, updated my wardrobe. I even dated a few guys. Dentist I met at a coffee shop, a divorced dad from Willow's soccer league, a guy from my gym who owned a CrossFit franchise. Nothing serious, but enough to feel wanted again. Enough to prove I could do better. Then last month, on a Sunday afternoon, I dropped Will off at his new place for the week. He bought a house 6 months earlier. Nothing fancy, just a small 3-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood with a backyard. A woman answered the door before I could knock. 30s, honey blonde hair and a messy bun, wearing jeans and a flower-dusted apron. She was holding a white bakery box with nothing but cakes printed on the side. You must be Paige. She smiled warmly. Come in. We're celebrating. I'm Stephanie. I knew he'd been seeing someone. Willow had mentioned her a few times in passing, but standing there in his doorway, seeing her comfortable in his space, made it real. Inside, the living room was transformed. Homemade congratulations banners hung from the ceiling, the kind made with construction paper and glitter. The dining table had a spread, chips, guacamole, a veggie tray, and that bundt cake sitting in the center. Willow ran up excitedly in a party hat. Mom, look what Stephanie made for Dad's promotion. She let me help with the decorations. That's when I really looked around. There were photos everywhere. And Stephanie at the Grand Canyon, both wearing matching hiking boots. Stephanie teaching Willow to pipe frosting on cupcakes in this very kitchen. A framed picture of all 3 of them at Clearwater Beach. Genuine smiles, Willow on his shoulders, Stephanie's hand in his, but what broke me was the small wooden box on the mantel. Handmade sanded smooth with dates carved into the lid. First date, March 14th. First trip, July 4. Willow's first sleepover here, 22. And he caught me staring. Oh, that's our memory box, she said, pulling it down. Inside were little notes on colored paper. Ticket stubs, pressed flowers. We add something every month. It's silly, but it's not silly, I heard myself say. My ex-husband walked in from the kitchen carrying paper plates, and when our eyes met, something passed between us. Not anger, not resentment, just understanding. He never forgot anniversaries with her. Never forgot her birthday, their first date the day she moved in. Every single moment was marked, celebrated, remembered. I stood there in his living room watching him cut cake with a woman who made memory boxes and threw promotion parties on Sunday afternoons, and all I could think was, I left him for not remembering dates. She stayed because she helped him create new ones worth remembering. On the drive home, Willow chattered about the party, about Stephanie's bundt cake, about how Dad seemed happy lately. I gripped the steering wheel and realized the problem was never that he couldn't remember.